Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm going to be seeing The Theory of Everything. This is the Stephen Hawking biography film. Now, let's see, the thing of this one is that this, just like Selma, this one seems kind of like an Oscar bait type of thing. Just from initial impressions, from like trailers and all that. Because Stephen Hawking's story is Oscar bait. It's a man who's determined. He loses all feeling throughout his body. He gets that horrible disease, but he still makes it in life and stuff. It's inspiring. And I'm hoping they don't go too far with that and just rely entirely on that. I hope that the performances are really what drives this forward and some good writing, not just the fact that it's telling the story of Stephen King. And once again, just like I do with every biographical movie I will ever see from now until the end of time, I am not going to factor what happened in the real world into this, alright? I don't really care if Stephen Hawking turns into a giant walrus at the end. It doesn't really matter. This movie is fictional. And Stephen Hawking and his life is something totally different. So, there you go. See you in a few minutes. I hope it's good. Here we go. So, let's see. Short story is, I did kinda like it, but not that much. We did have some pretty good performances in this. Stephen Hawking's wife, that was a terrific job. Like, good actress work there, so yeah, that was good. The guy who played Stephen Hawking, not as good, but then again, Stephen Hawking isn't given that much to do. He does look a hell of a lot like Stephen Hawking, though, I'll give him that. He can definitely look the part of a guy with Lou Gehrig's disease. So there you go. Those are some good points. And this movie does have other decent points scattered throughout. Probably my main problem with this movie is I don't think it really went as far as it could have. I think it maybe suffers from a similar problem to American Sniper, where, once again, this is totally theorizing, but I am guessing that American Sniper was held back because the events of that movie are so recent. The main guy in that movie died so recently, and his family is still around to get offended by anything the movie might say. And same thing with this movie. Stephen Hawking and his wife at the time, are also still around to get offended and possibly boycott and lose money in the movie if they ever went too dark. Which is such a shame, because it could have been really interesting if they played it a bit more realistically. Because, and I'm not trying to be offensive here, in the movie she essentially cheats on her husband, but this is played off as being kind of she needs this or something like that. It's trying desperately to make it seem okay, which is really strange and confusing. And it works against the movie instead of for it. Now, I'm not saying what she did isn't okay. I'm not saying Stephen Hawking has a problem with it. Once again, completely outside of it, in terms of the movie, it's confusing and weird. So that's just my theory that the film was probably held back because they didn't really want to risk offending Mr. Stephen Hawking. So, yeah, that's truly the sad part of it. Also, his kids are completely perfect angels. I think at the end they were literally, like, skipping around in circles or something. You know, like a Disney movie. There's a lot of Disney movie stuff in this, actually. Yeah, and that's its main problem. If the Imitation Game benefited from anything, it was the fact that everyone in that movie is dead. So there's really nobody left to get offended if they say, yeah, Alan Turing was kind of a dick sometimes. You know. But if they said that about Stephen Hawking, oh my god, how many people in his family would be up in arms about that? And so it works against the movie, sadly. Not to say it's bad. Hell, no movie I have seen so far I would describe as bad. Not really. Even American Sniper, the one I don't like the one I like the least, it's flawed, but I wouldn't call it bad. Just really flawed. I don't know if I called it bad in the video, but you know what I mean. If I did, I wasn't meaning bad like in bad. I was meaning bad like another bad. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Who do I recommend this to? I recommend it to people who I guess if you want a sort of tragic story, but don't want it to tug at your heartstrings too much. Like if you're overly sensitive, this might work for you because it doesn't go with it too much. Probably the most intense it gets is a scene towards the beginning where he actually flops to the ground and hits his head on the pavement. Like, that actually got a reaction, but throughout the rest of the movie they play it really safe. And yeah, that works to its disadvantage in my opinion. So, yeah. Not one of my favorites. But, hey, at least it had a good actress in it. And, yeah, that's about the best I can say about it, actually. Until next time, I am Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching A Dyer-Situation.